We call it depression stigma, discrimination and negative attitudes towards depression and towards someone who's suffering from depression actually affects them. It affects their lifestyle, it affects their relationships, it affects their overall well being. Negative attitudes, discrimination, all of this towards depression must stop. Public stigma leads to self stigma. Self stigma is all about the individual who is depressed, suffers from lower self esteem. He or she then spirals into negative thoughts, sometimes leading to suicide. This negative attitude towards depression, I once again plead, should stop. We have young budding psychologists with us today who run a counseling center called ManoCare, and they deal with individuals, teens, and children suffering from depression. We have with us today Akshita and Aditya. We've, of course, done a couple of podcasts with them earlier. And because I see them so concerned about mental disorders and depression, they're here with us once again. Hi.
Hi.
It's so lovely to have you here once again with us.
Thank you for having us.
So the question is, what is depression? If you can, elaborate on that. And what are the signs that we can, look for, the early signs that one can understand that he or she is actually going through depression?
Depression is a serious mental health condition where an individual feels, first of all, persistent sadness. So if they feel sad for more than 15 days, then it's the first sign that, of depression. Second, they feel loss of interest. Okay. One thing they enjoyed, for example, sports. Someone enjoyed sports. They start losing interest in those things. Next, if they're looking forward to something exciting in the future, maybe exams because they feel they're going to do really well, those things start to not be so exciting for them.
Okay.
Maybe they don't feel the level of reward that they get. So the pleasure that they get out of achieving something or doing something, they don't get it. Then they feel empty. They feel extremely empty.
Okay.
Then they have this thing that there's a sudden change in themselves where maybe for a parent, a child who's very excited about everything, you'll see them not very excited. Maybe they will start isolating themselves from social situations. They will also, they will feel that they're not worth it. They feel hopeless about the future. And they feel when they have certain problems or certain things that is going on in life, they feel helpless in certain situations because they feel like they can't do certain things. For example, exams or at workplace, they feel like, oh, maybe I will be able to achieve it. They don't feel like they'll be able to achieve certain things or certain situation arises. They feel very helpless. So the early signs of depression that people need to look out is that there's a sudden change in themselves. For example, for a parent, if a child is very excited about a lot of things, when you see that they're losing interest, that is the first sign. Second sign is you will see that they don't like hanging out with their friends.
Okay. Isolating themselves.
Isolating themselves. They start to feel like nobody understands them and they feel like they're better off alone than to be in social situation. There's a lot of guilt they feel ashamed if they have made maybe a small mistake. For example, they did not score as well in an exam.
Okay.
They will feel a lot of guilt and shame about themselves. So those are certain things that parents, even adults need to look out, that there's a change in them. There's a drastic change in their behavior. Maybe you'll see a child who doesn't get angry or a person who doesn't get angry as much starts to get angry on very small things.
Okay.
So that is the first sign that a lot of people need to look out for.
Okay.
There are some physical signs as well.
All right.
So maybe there's more headaches, there's change in sleep,
Okay.
there's change in appetite. So someone might go through insomnia or someone might sleep a lot. There are two ends. Always depression has two ends.
Okay.
There may be increase in appetite or complete loss of appetite.
All right.
There can be, children can complain more of pains like stomach pain, headaches and stuff like that. You will find yourself fatigued the entire day. You're physically tired even though you've not done much throughout the day. You'll feel a weakness in your muscles. You're tired. So these are also a few physical symptoms that you can look after when you think about depression.
As well as they feel a lot of emotional burden. For example, I have a couple of clients I have talked to when they asked them what depression feels like. One said that I'm carrying like a 50 kgs of bag on my back.
It's a burden.
It's a burden. And they feel like not just a burden for themselves, but they start to feel like that burden is also a burden for other people around. Yes. And then what happens is they want to seek help. Their way of seeking help, maybe, they might get angry on small things. They start to feel like nobody understands them. They might ask, "Yeah, I need help in something," or they're scared if I tell somebody that I'm feeling in a certain way. First of all, one of the major things with depression is that the person who's going through depression initially doesn't understand
that he's going through.
They're going through depression. They tell their mother, for a child will tell their mother that, I'm not feeling like myself. I'm not feeling well. I don't know how I'm feeling, but I'm feeling something is happening. I don't feel excited as much. So when raising awareness about the symptoms, about understanding what depression is, how it feels like, is very important. So the person who is going through depression is able to point it out that, this is depression or this is what it is. So going back to feeling heavy, they feel heavy, therefore they feel fatigue. They want to reduce the weight in some other way, but they do not trust people because they feel like if I tell someone,
maybe rejection.
There's a rejection.
Usually people also react to it in a certain way. Many a times parents or other people in their life just say like, it's not a big deal. It's just a phase. It will pass through. Why don't you just be happy? So I would like to give an example for that. If you have like a broken leg, would you tell that person that, just walk it off? It's not a big deal.
Absolutely.
We don't. Then why are we telling that to someone who has a broken spirit or someone who needs help with their emotions?
So here is my question. I mean, it's very nice that you've spoken about this. Two things. Firstly, how does a person who is going through depression open up because he or she is so afraid of rejection or not being understood? Because he or she may have tried earlier to speak of what he's feeling, or she's feeling. That's one question. How does he or she open up? And secondly, parents or near and dear ones, do they have to look out for those kinds of symptoms that you spoke of earlier? Would that help?
Parents needs to be aware. First of all, a lot of parents have this thought process that my child will not go through any of the mental illnesses. It cannot happen to my child. But depression is something, it has nothing to do. A lot of times people look at depression as sadness, but depression is not just sadness. Depression can happen to anybody. It doesn't have to do anything with if you're financially secure, you come from this background or that background. It can happen to the richest of the person, a person who is highly achieved a lot of things. It can happen to someone who's struggling in life as well as also has a depression. So depression doesn't pick and choose, I can be, this person can be depressed, that person can be depressed. At the end of the day, it is a mental health condition. It's a mental health disorder. So it can happen to anybody around the world. And that is why parents need to be aware. First of all, parents need to understand that it can happen to anyone. So when it can happen to anyone, they need to be vigilant about what are the signs of depression, what are the signs of mental health.
The ones that you just spoke about earlier.
And taking an action on it is very, very important.
Absolutely.
When you were asking about how loved ones can help, so many times loved one thinks that, okay, I need to fix this person. This is an issue and I need to fix it. Because usually parents are in that zone. If the child is having an issue, if the child cannot find a book, okay, I'll find a book. If the child needs a glass of water, I'll get that for them. So it's always, parents always look out for situations to fix them. That mental health disorders are not something that you can fix overnight. It needs a lot of nurturing. It needs a lot of understanding. It needs patience. So when you say like, how can you help someone open up? So what a loved one can usually do is, first you need to create a safe space for them to speak up. So a safe space will involve where you are not forcing that person to speak up. Many a times we say, tell me now what's going on. You need to tell me. You share, you'll feel better. Give them that space where they can open up, where you are telling them that, okay, it's okay. I'm here for you. Whenever you're ready, I'm here to listen to you. You just have to reassure them. You have to tell them that I'm here for you, rather than forcing something out of them. Second is showing up is very important. Consistency is very important.
Yeah.
Many a times, if you have a friend who's struggling, if that person keeps on canceling plans or does not respond to your text, friends are like, "ठीक है,
Yes.
जाने दो यार." Always he's the person who will not respond. Why bother? But when you do that, you're pushing that person more into the depth of the loneliness or the depression that the person is facing. So it's very important to reach out. Maybe they canceled a plan today. Ask again tomorrow. Ask if you would like to hang out. Check up on them. That tells them that you're there for them. For a person who's going through depression, it's very important to know that there are a few people that they can hang out. That those people are there for them and they will not judge them no matter what they say. Then the third thing is asking the right questions and actually listening.
That is very important.
So many a times, if you go around and if you see someone is sad or someone is down, you ask, "How are you?" And the person says, "Oh, I'm fine." There's no discussion or conversation beyond that. So you need to ask questions like, "Okay, I see that you've been down. What is going on? What has been running into your mind lately? Okay, like how are the things at home? How are things at work? Okay, like is something bothering you?" When you ask the right questions, you kind of cue them to speak something that is going on to them. And when they actually speak, you need to listen rather than giving advice. So for example, if a person is drowning, they don't need a lecture on why are they drowning. They just need a lifeboat. They just need a lifeline. So be the lifeline of that person rather than giving them that lecture that they don't need at that time.
But all of this, I think, people have to be educated on.
Definitely.
From parents to us regular people, because the way I see it, depression is also on the rise, like very many other illnesses. It's on the rise everywhere. You spoke about loneliness and you spoke about sadness, right? So how do you distinguish between the two? When is it, that switch takes place from sadness to loneliness and then into depression? Is it a gradual thing?
So when you start having symptoms of depression, the first symptoms is usually sadness. And then sadness, they would usually ask for help. Maybe they are feeling sad about certain thing. But when it comes to depression, the sadness is not about one particular thing. The bigger difference between depression and sadness, first of all, sadness is that, maybe you didn't do as well in your exams.
Okay.
So you're sad about it. And then once that phase goes, once that exam goes, you start with a new year, you tend to, move ahead of it. Depression is when it doesn't matter how well you're doing about certain things. Maybe you're done really great in exams, but you tend to feel like you're not achieved the level that you have, and you are persistently sad about things that are going around.
Okay.
Usually I've observed that person who has a lot of going through depression has a very high expectations from themselves. They feel like this is just maybe an ordinary, everybody achieves it. I need to achieve something more. And they're trying to push themselves to achieve that more. But then depression for them comes in as a barrier. And then they don't allow themselves to feel depressed, to feel sadness, and they push it down. So when they're fighting against this kind of emotions, they feel very ashamed of themselves. They feel ashamed that they are not good enough. They feel like the other person, the grass is greener on the other side. The other person is having a much better life than I am having. And that's when they start getting into loneliness.
Okay. So it is a gradual process,
thing.
Actually. Okay.
Sadness is very temporary, whereas depression is a prolonged period of time, persistent feeling that you keep having again and again and again. So for sadness, it comes and goes. You feel sad for a certain time, and then you're back to yourself. You start doing your things. You're happy. You're working on yourself again. But depression, it's like the sadness doesn't go away. It's just there. It keeps on growing and growing and growing.
My question here again now to you is about our neurotransmitters and hormones. A lot of us say, a lot of doctors and psychotherapists and all of them say that, it's the imbalance in your hormones, the chemical imbalance, the neurotransmitters. So how do you bring about that balance if someone is going through depression? Is it that there is an imbalance in their serotonin and dopamine and those feel-good hormones? And if so, what can be done about that?
So when you look at neurotransmitter imbalance, a lot of psychologists or psychiatrists will look at it as one of the factors of depression. So if there is a chemical imbalance in your brain, the first thing a doctor, psychiatrist, psychotherapist would give you medications. So medications kind of help you, if it's in the severe cases, to balance those chemicals in a way. And the second factor that a lot of psychologists, psychiatrists look at is the social factor. If a person is living a life, and maybe, for example, let's take an example of a child who's going to school and he's getting bullied every day. That person is going to feel depressed and helpless, and maybe a loss of interest because of that traumatic experience is happening again and again. So even if I give you medications, or and that situation doesn't change, then there's no point of medications, because we need to address the situation. When maybe if the child is in danger, we need to get the child out of danger, understand why the child is getting bullied in that situation. When that situation is changed, when the child has processed the emotions that the child has gone through because of bullying, so we also have, so that kind of brings back the neurotransmitter to some level.
Okay.
And there's a psychological factor. So the psychological factor is the factor that psychotherapists look at a lot of times, where the thought process of the child, looking at the situation, because at the end, it's all about perspective, about things. How you look at life changes because of traumatic experiences, if your brain is not able to produce chemicals. So when through psychotherapy to having talk therapy or even play therapy for younger children, that helps them understand what is going wrong in terms of thinking. Like we talked about, the spiral of thought process, that they keep going in the same thought process, they're in a cycle of the same thought. That cycle needs to be broken. So it is not just medications, it is kind of a collective approach to it, where we need to address all the aspects of their life in order to bring that change. The second part is medications. Maybe a doctor will give you medication for 6 months, maximum is 5 years, 10 years, depending on the condition, the severity of it. But look at it, it's like a money plant. Money plant, there's a stick that money plant grows on. The medications is a stick. But what psychologists do is to help them get away from medication slowly and build that tolerance level where their brain is able to produce that kind of chemicals. And that happens through maybe change of situation, environment, where there's a social situation that is happening continuously. Maybe someone is being rude. And then the thought process, the therapy that helps them tend to feel like themselves all over again.
So you have role plays also, I
Role plays.
assume, so that the child begins to change the neural pathway.
Yes.
Yeah.
pathways.
I'm going to digress a little bit because I talked of neural pathways. Can meditation help you here? Your breathing pattern, can it help an individual going through depression, lower the intensity of it?
Yes. Depression is one of the ways we tell a lot of clients to go through depression. So for example, if someone who wants to get off of medications, because medications have a lot of side effects, we give them a sense of routine that they need to follow.
Okay.
For some people, meditation works fantastically. They will get up every day, do meditation, and then they will feel, like themselves. So it's one of the factors that, because depression is not one fit for all. It is not something that you might feel depression in different way. Someone else might feel depression in different way. So medications, socially understanding how they feel and what are the therapies, and what they can do in terms of changing their lifestyle, will help them.
Okay.
For example, one client of mine, meditation will work fantastically. For the other client, maybe walking will work. For others, maybe it could be something like playing the sport might work for them. For some, someone do gymming, that might work. Or for some, just writing it down. Because
journaling, as they say.
writing it, their emotions down, what they're feeling, how they're feeling. Maybe they feel like writing helps them. Maybe their diary understands them much better than any other person.
Any other person, yeah.
So it is very, it really changes person to person what helps and what doesn't help.
So it's different at different age groups also.
Yes.
Okay.
Conclude, meditation can be one factor that helps while you're suffering from depression, but you will need to combine it with different things, such as therapy or medication, something that even helps you. So meditation will be very temporary. So let's say you're doing a meditation in the morning, you'll feel great maybe for 2 hours, 3 hours. But after that, the feeling of sadness, the persistent feeling will linger back. Because it is going to come back to you.
Yeah.
So you need to work on that feeling, that thought.
Hmm.
That thought needs to go away.
Hmm.
And that's when the meditation will improve, and that's when the meditation will help much more.
Hmm.
So and also it needs a lot of consistency. If you're going to do
Yes.
meditation just once a week or once a 15 days, it's not going to be helpful. You need to
Hmm.
do it every day, maybe
Hmm.
twice or thrice a day.
Hmm.
Also, some people are not able to concentrate.
Hmm.
They can't close eyes and focus on one thing and do
Hmm.
meditation.
Hmm.
So as Aditya rightfully said, we
Yeah.
try to give them different things that they can do.
Yes.
So these are like resources we give in therapy.
Hmm.
So meditation is one of the resources. Like journaling is one of the resources. So we need a combination of multiple
of
things.
everything. Yeah. We've spoken about therapies and, symptoms and how we can approach them to open up. But I've also experienced this with a couple of individuals where they do not want to accept that they are depressed at all. What happens in those cases where you know that they're spiraling, where you know that these things are happening, and you want to approach them, and you have approached them in the various ways that you people have been mentioning? However, there is no acceptance. What happens then?
So individual who doesn't want to accept that they have depression or they're going through something is because they feel like if in society gets to know that they are depressed, then their public image or their image in the society, people will not look up to them as they are as individual. They will focus on more on their depression. And they will dismiss those individuals. Maybe they feel like they will not get the opportunities that they will get if they don't tell. So that is one thing. Second thing is that a lot of people don't feel like if they don't accept their depression, they will be able to live a life better.
It will just go away.
It will just go away.
And they feel like accepting it would mean that I'm opening a lot of doors for things that I don't want to open a door. So I'll close the depression one room and let it be, and I'll function as
So they wear a mask,
they wear a mask.
which can crack anytime.
Yes.
Especially in Indian culture, we are told that you're supposed to be strong. You're having any kind of mental illness is a sign of weakness.
That's the stigma that we spoke about in the initial stage, the public stigma leading you to self-stigma.
And the third factor is, no, I can't go through depression. I am such a good person. I've done so many good things in life.
Yeah.
No, I can't go through depression. There's no self-acceptance that they have depression. They're going through something, and they look at depression as a way, they feel like it is pulling them down. So if I accept it, it's going to pull me down. If I don't accept it, then I am at the higher stage. So that ego factor comes in.
So how does it then impact? Because I'm sure all of this would then finally impact their relationships with their parents, with their near and dear ones, with their loved ones, husbands and wives.
It affects everywhere. I feel like it affects right from your work life. So in your work, maybe you're not able to concentrate as much as you were before. You're not able to meet the deadlines as you would want to. And that leads to like lower motivation, lower concentration, which eventually then leads them to the worry of, okay, job insecurity. I might lose my job. What happens there? In relationships, people who are depressed usually tend to avoid contact. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk to anybody. And then they kind of like unintentionally push people away. It's not their intention. That's not what they want to do. But they unintentionally push people away, and that leads to their support system being diminished.
Or they maybe stick to just one individual that they feel safe with.
Yes. So if for people who don't want to accept that they have depressed, is if you know that they are going through depression, the one thing you can do is just be there for them. Maybe ask them, oh, I feel like you're a little off today. Is there everything okay? And just let it be there. If they want to talk about it, talk about it. If they don't want to talk about it, let it be. Come up with a different question every other day, and maybe once they will break open. Because they need time, because they have been dismissed and they have been rejected. So they need time to trust people that I can tell this person, and this person is not going to go tell 10 people about depression. And usually the second way of rejection that people do is, oh, just think positively. It is just a phase. The advice comes in, and they do not want advice. They understand. So look at it as an emotional cloud. So they have this emotional cloud. They understand that, this I'm doing wrong, this I'm doing right. They understand all of those things, what they're doing right or wrong. But because of the emotional cloud, they are not able to express it, or they're not able to think properly, and that cloud comes in the middle. So once that cloud kind of, like I said, baggage is put down, they are able to think very clearly. They are able to function properly. So it is just about being there for those people, not forcing them. If you force someone, they'll very quickly they will just close the door on you.
Absolutely.
As we discussed before, I can add more things to it. So like sometimes just sitting next to them, watching a movie with them, or like just playing a game with them. There doesn't have to be a conversation. You don't need to give them advice. You don't need to ask them, force them to speak about
being there.
just being there,
Very lovingly.
letting them know that I'm here for you. And sometimes helping in practical ways. So if you're seeing that the person is not even able to get out of the bed, maybe get them some breakfast, maybe make some tea for them. Maybe, you know, if you're seeing some chores that are not being completed, so maybe you can help around the house. That also reduces the burden on them and increases the trust that they have on you. As he said, instead of forcing, you can do multiple things in their life that help them in some or the other way. It doesn't have to be direct conversation.
They say love heals.
Yes.
So you talk about love and compassion. You're actually, yeah. Another question that just popped up. So is it that this depression sinks into you in your childhood, or can it also happen to you in your adulthood? Is it a trauma that triggers it in your childhood? Or can trauma in your adulthood also can make you depressed?
So first, if there's a hereditary depression, so if a parent has a depression, then there's chances that it can be passed on to the children.
Okay.
And it doesn't need like a traumatic event for that depression to trigger.
Okay.
One of the cases that I looked at, the kid fell down. One instance, he just fell down, and that triggered depression for him, because that basically depression is in his head because of the hereditary part of it. But it doesn't need anything. It can be anything very small that can trigger that depression, like just falling it down. And after that falling it down, maybe he fell down his head. So that triggered depression, and his way of looking at life changed totally. So that is one part. Second part is maybe in early childhood, they have not received the love they want from their mother. Maybe the parents are too busy that they were not able to give as much attention to the child. One thing important is that parents come into therapy session, they tell them, we have done everything for the child. We have given them what they want, what school he wants to go to, he wants to go out somewhere, we have taken him. But it is not about what you have done. It is about the child feeling loved.
Absolutely,
It can be as basic as if the child is sick and the mom has some kind of meetings that she has to attend. Mom maybe takes a half day from work and comes and sits next to him. That is for the child love. Maybe mom is there every night when he's sleeping. So basic things that child needs to feel loved. But what parents end up doing is they'll do something out of the world, which the child doesn't really want.
Materialistic, actually.
Materialistic,
That emotional security is not there.
And the child should feel that, you know, my parents are there. The sense of belongingness, that my parents are sense of belongingness. Whatever I do in my life, I have this safe space with my parents, which I can come and talk to them and tell them anything. And maybe they will not get angry very quickly. Maybe I want to feel heard about what I've gone through. Third factor is maybe they have gone through something very traumatic. It could be for a child 5 years old, parents divorcing could be a traumatic incident. For something like in school, maybe bullying has happened. In adulthood, like I said, when we talked about hereditary part of it, maybe they lost a job. There was a case where the child, throughout his education, till 12th and even in college, he was number one in his class. When he went out in the market, he wanted to be the best in the office space. He could not get job very quickly. That part, that I was number one throughout my life and I was not able to be number one here, or I was not selected in a job interview, triggered depression.
So to come back to your question where you asked if it is really just childhood experiences or is it something that happens in the adulthood, I feel like it is your entire past experiences of your life that contribute to depression. And as he said, it can be anything. It can be anything that happened through your childhood, something that happened through your adulthood, maybe a breakup, maybe losing someone who's very near to you, death of someone, maybe you've seen a very traumatic accident by your eyes, anything like that. So a lot of things trigger depression and they kind of add on to the already negative cloud that you might be carrying around. And as he was talking about children and parents, I feel like understanding each other's love language is very, very important. And sometimes parents feel like, okay, I have the money, I can give whatever the child wants. They want gifts, they have them. They need toys, they have it. They need a new device, they have it. But that's not what child wants. You need to understand what the child wants. Not only child, I'll say it in adult relationships as well. I need to know what my husband needs. I need to know what my mother needs, rather than what I would like to give them.
Absolutely,
And
so
if
well
I'm,
said.
If I'm able to help them in what they actually need, then that is what is really helpful. As I was saying before, if I'm feeling very low, I need help around the house. I don't need you to get me flowers. I don't need chocolates. I need help around the house. And that would be a huge, huge help for me. And that's how loved ones can really, really
Absolutely. But the other person needs that power of discernment, right? So, in psychology, there is a process that you call the attunement, where it is in infancy itself that you are enabling the child to understand about love, about empathy, about compassion.
It starts from the womb.
Yes, starts from the womb. But if not there, at least when the child is born, how you hold the child as an infant also has a lot of impact on, the emotional security that the child can feel. And I think that is what is lacking today because mothers are working. And, in that stressful atmosphere of running here, running there, looking after the other two kids and packing tiffins and looking after the husband and the breakfast, you forget to hold that child close to you and to pass on that kind of emotional security. It begins there.
I feel like that's when the support of the family comes in.
Absolutely right.
Because of course, we cannot say that, okay, women don't need to work because they're having babies. We would rather want the family to come together, help each other out, support each other in that running phase. Okay, in the morning, if the mother needs to prepare tiffins, maybe the father is getting the kids ready. He's making sure that they have the uniforms on, their bags are packed. That's when the mother is packing the tiffins. So both of them are sharing the load. And that's when it will actually help because we talk about depression in children, but we need to also talk about depression in mothers. And that also is at rising today. And to help with that, it starts with family. It starts with your husband. It starts with the family support system that you have. If you have it right, if that is right, then I feel like women can achieve
I think this
anything.
is going to be another topic, parents going through depression themselves and not being able to tell their child that they're going through depression. I was reading something on, parents going through depression and sometimes it is overwhelming. When you read all of that and examples of, even a 6-7-year-old child can understand that the parent is also going through something that is not right.
And sometimes parents feel like the kids won't understand.
But
you should give it a try. You should tell your child. You should tell your child how you feel. And the child would be the most empathetic you've seen them. They will try to do everything that is possible.
True.
If they were not helping before around the household, they will help out more. If they know that mom is not feeling well, they will sit next to you. They will try to make something for you, cook something for you, ask for help. So children are very, very empathetic.
That's exactly what they mentioned in that write-up that I read. And ask for help. And it's very important.
And for a mother, before the child and after the child, it's a drastic change.
Yes.
Now she has to look at herself, her husband, her child, her work, her home as well.
And the in-laws.
In-laws.
In-laws, the family.
Sorry.
The family.
I'm not ridiculing the situation, but yes, it is a collective dynamic.
And now she's trying to, as much as she loves the child, she's trying to find a way to put the child in that equation. She doesn't know where the child goes, how much priority I need to give the child. Because from a child's perspective, we tend to look at mothers, and they're not able to give the love, affection. From a mother's perspective, she's trying to figure out where this child goes. How much love, how much time do I need to give?
True, very true.
And what I need to prioritize, because they don't know what to prioritize with the new person in the family.
This is such a topic. We can go on and on and on. And before we close, what I would like to know is, since you have a counseling center, ManoCare, and you have been counseling ever since you've come back from the UK, both of you, what is it, are there some kind of resources that when people are going through depression, places that they can call up and go to? I don't know. Would you kindly enlighten us, or rather let us know and educate us?
Okay. So there are some emergency contact lines that you can call. So they are for when you're in a very stressful situation where maybe you're feeling extremely suicidal, or you feel like you need immediate help. You're very
Yes.
distressed and you need immediate help.
Yes.
Then you can. There are a few helplines. I'll share the details with you, and you can definitely add it to the caption.
We would love to do that.
There's Snehi. There's iCall. They're
Okay.
all free helplines
All
that you
right.
can call 24/7 anytime you're feeling.
Oh, lovely.
There are trained professionals on the other
Okay.
side of the phone
Hmm.
who will just listen to you without any judgment. There will be complete confidentiality and they will help you navigate through that situation and help you feel better. But this is just the first part. Just finding someone to talk to when you're distressed would not help you to overcome the depression that you're going through. For that, you would need some kind of help. And that's when therapy really comes in. And that's when maybe ManoCare comes in. So as you were saying, ManoCare provides a lot of individualized therapy for all ages. And we not only focus on the individual, but we also focus on their family, on every dynamic in their life. And we try to work out the best possible therapeutic tools for them. And apart from that, we also provide online services.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
anywhere you're in the world, you can definitely reach out to us. Our services are absolutely affordable.
Yeah.
And we are very, very people-centric. We are very, very client-centric.
That's one of the reasons why you're here, because I could see the love, the compassion, the willingness to want to help. That is very important,
There are some apps as well. There's Headspace. There's Better Health, where you can find online counselors. And if you really want to do that, you can do that as well. I just want to say that there is help available. There is abundance of help available.
Yes, this is
You need to come out. You need to come and say something about it. And the help will be there.
So we would like for you to share with us, MimamshaTalk, these details that you were speaking about, so that, we can caption it and we can put this on air, that people can reach out.
Yeah.
We would like also for you to share your details also, so people can come to you for therapies. Is there a final message that you would love to give our audience?
So I would like to say that depression is not you. Depression is a part of you. Depression doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that you're broken or you're unworthy. So depression has this thing where depression lies to you.
Yes.
Okay, depression makes you feel like you're alone in the world.
Yes.
But that's not the fact. And I promise you, if you take one step, there is light ahead of you.
Wonderful.
And always ask for help. Always come out, and we are here for you. We are always here to help.
Wonderful. And my message would be, please don't make depression a stigma, because it is leading to a lot of suicidal cases. Learn to accept them, and learn to accept that depression can be cured. Or at least, as she said, there is a light at that end of the tunnel to help you traverse through your challenges in life.
For people who are going through depression, first of all, you're not alone. Depression will make you feel alone, maybe make you feel that you're misunderstood. You're carrying a lot of baggage, emotional baggage with you. There's going to be always a person who can understand your baggages, understand what you have gone through. There are people who would not judge you and understand that what you are going through. There are many of you who have gone through similar situation. Whether it is us, ManoCare, or any other service center, therapy center that you can go to, please go ask for help. Don't look at therapy as a way of, it's expensive, but it might be an expensive for you, but it is actually eventually an investment. And my question to a lot of my client is, if you can live a better, fulfilling life by just investing in yourself, taking care of yourself, and coming out of something, a mental illness, it's just a part of you. Depression makes you feel like it is all of you, but it is not all of you. It is just part of you. So please invest in yourself, because everybody deserves a well-deserved life, a happy life, and joyful life. So thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless all of you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Yeah.
In time.